Good morning. Welcome to Miracle Network's Wednesday meditation gathering. I'm so glad you're all here to share this time together. This week we have Andreas Prohl who will lead us in meditation, and then we'll have 20 minutes of silence. After that, we're going to open it up for sharing, and we end at 10:45. Over to you, Andreas.
Thank you so much for the invitation. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. And thank you for showing up for always a new reflection in the light, because Jesus reminds us that each moment is a fresh and clean rebirth of yourself, basically. And what are you? What is everything? Everything is a thought. God is thought, and he created us like him. So we are thought, we are his thought, we are divine thought. And so we cannot be touched by anything from that comes from the world or that comes from our sleeping mind. It comes from bodies, comes from pain or anything else, because nothing can disturb what God has created as himself. So time is basically just literally a dream. Bodies are dreams. This world is a dream. And when we just have the tiniest, smallest willingness to lean over to him, to lean over to his thought, he has a chance to step into our thoughts, into our mind, and to remind us that there is a completely new way to experience ourselves. And Jesus says, no, you're not asking too much from life. You're asking way too little. You're asking for specifics. You're asking for the solution of little problems. And yet the whole universe is offered to you. And how about that? How about that for abundance? There's a whole universe to be ours for the claiming. We're just claiming what is already ours and what we already are. So today I would like to suggest a little part from the Song of Prayer and true prayer. And it is, in a sense, it is a bit like an art, because we're training our mind to let go of specific prayers, but to really align with the mind of God. And here it is, true prayer. The secret of true prayer is to forget the things you think you need. To ask for the specific is much the same as to look on sin and then forgive it. Also, in the same way, in prayer, you overlook your specific needs as you see them and let them go into God's hands. There they become your gifts to Him, for they tell Him that you would have no gods before Him, no love but His. What could His answer be but your remembrance of Him? Can this be traded for a bit of trifling advice about a problem on an instant's duration? God answers only for eternity. But still, all little answers are contained in this. So, if you find your little problems in your mind and you ask for an answer, try to go beyond that and see that everything is answered for eternity in his mind, and his answer is love. So I would like to introduce the meditation for today by truly stepping aside and to really listening to his loving answer, to allow his loving answer to come into our mind and to replace all little requests by the assurance that you are totally loved by God, totally, without any little dark corners that you have to keep for yourself. So thank you for joining in this.
Open your eyes and come back into the room. We have 20 minutes left for sharing your reflections and your questions. If you'd like to speak, raise your hand, or you can use the electronic hand at the bottom of the screen. Also, if you want to leave a message, say something with confidentiality, put your message in the chat function and I'll read it out. Who'd like to share? Jim, take yourself off mute.
Yes, thank you, Andreas. Your introduction was very good for me because I'm very much body conscious at the moment. Discomfort from the operation and feeling quite tired from it as well, still. And you mentioned about how we're minds, not bodies. It's difficult, especially, I think, when we're in some discomfort, to really know that. I focused on it in the meditation about, simply resting in the mind and allowing the body to be basically as it is. Can you say a bit more about how we really realize that we are minds, not bodies?
I actually had a question for you, Jim, but let me address that first. What you said, I see that I am convinced that my physical experiences are set in stone. I think this is set in stone. This pain is set in stone. The body makes me feel this way. Yet when I make a step further within and I tell myself, I literally have to teach myself, no, this experience, let's say the discomfort or the pain, is something that I'm thinking and maintaining right now. It's a thought that I'm in. It's nothing else than a grievance, like any other regular grievance that we come across. And so I can change it. I can choose a miracle instead. So that's my how do I say, my tool that I use most of the time. I choose a miracle instead. And if nothing seems to change, I just stick with it. And whatever physical phenomena is there that I took for granted as reality, I just keep applying this replacement, this exchange. I choose a miracle instead. Okay, I have pain in my lung. I can't breathe properly. It's an experience in my mind. I choose a miracle instead. Usually, but my question for you, Jim, is like, how did you make a step towards mind and out of the focus on the body? Like, what was your...
It's simply a shift of attention.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I know the body isn't set in stone. Sometimes my discomfort and my relationship to it varies through the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so nothing's set in stone. And I accept it's really about what I give attention to. Am I giving attention to myself as mind, or am I giving attention to myself as body? And I suppose it's just a matter of just going with the memory whenever it presents itself,
Yeah.
and going with the mind whenever I remember. But certainly I experienced it during the meditation, and your introductory words helped with that. But I think I still feel very much I'm a body. I know I'm a mind, but I feel very much as though I'm a body much of the time. And it's just, I think you're saying it's just practice, really. Just remembering that there's a miracle always available. And the mind is always true, the reality. And the miracle is to remember that mind as being the reality and let anything go that is concerning me, or any grievance I've got about the body. As you say, it's really a grievance I have about the body at the moment. And that can be let go of like any other grievance. So yeah, thanks, Andreas.
Yeah, very good reflection. And you know, it's so easy to see. Like usually when I am sick, or when we are sick, we tend to think, okay, right, now I'm sick. I am now this sick body. But you know, I receive a message on WhatsApp, and then I think, oh, what does he write? Oh, he writes about this and that. Okay. And I totally forgot that I'm a sick body. I'm a completely different movie. My movie has changed. It's still a movie. It's still a dream, but in that moment, I'm not in my movie of sick body. I'm in the movie of of a relationship idea that I have with a friend or someone who contacts me. So, and you mentioned that too, Jim. Like your experience of your pain varies throughout the day because we keep switching the storylines. We keep switching between dreams. So it's not as solid as we make ourselves believe. Even the sickness or even a severe sickness is just a movie in that sense that we can switch to another one at any given time. So that makes us already question, like, is it really so set in stone, or is it actually very natural for us to switch to other movies? So I can also switch to forgiveness in that sense.
Thank you, Andreas. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Who would like to share? Sue, take yourself off mute.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Andreas. That was so powerful for me. You said something about experiencing God's total love. And when we started, I got a sense of something very powerful and welcoming. The theme last week was knocking on heaven's door. And one of the workshops I actually experienced going through a door. And I knew that I could go through that door, but then all these stupid thoughts kept coming up to distract me. And then I remembered that they were just stupid thoughts, and I didn't need to judge them, and I didn't need to blame myself for them. And instead, I asked to experience God's love. And there was just this deepness. I can't put it into words. And I actually felt connected to everybody in the group. And I'm kind of blown away by the experience. I'm a bit scared and a bit in awe of what I felt, and intensely grateful to the group, to you, Andreas, and thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's hard to put these things in words, and because also the words don't do it justice. But we can join with you, and thank you for offering that. Because you know, whenever he speaks and he's heard, his word is heard, and the experience is there. It's an answer for everyone, and just strengthens our trust and also our certainty that this is not only possible, but it's available and necessary for all of us to experience that. And yeah, thank you for being brave enough. You know, you're from the highlands, so you brought the bravery. We might be lacking in our comfort zones to go through the door and like earnestly asking for God's love. And that's why I love being with you and being in this field, because I know that I need the remembrance. I need the remembrance, and I need it to be fresh, beyond concepts and words. Um, I'm looking for the help to remember him, and I know that we're just beginning. So it's an amazing journey, and with each light that goes on, with everyone who remembers, we're all going home together. Like we went home with you in that moment and in this moment. And it's bigger than we think. You know, on the surface, it looks like, ah, there's someone who has an experience. How wonderful. You know, but in the mind, it's everything. Everyone went home with you, even though it's not observable with our physical eyes. And thank you for that open door. It's beautiful.
Who'd like to share? Teresa, take yourself off mute.
Yeah, thank you, Andreas. I wrote a few things that you said. I just want to repeat them because I really like them. You said, we are divine thought. I like that a lot. And then you said, lean over to him. I love that. And that in true prayer, all answers are given, all little answers, but the answer is love. And I just love those words. They bring us closer. They bring me closer. And Sue, thank you so much, because in your sharing that experience, it really touched my heart. And I could really feel it. So thank you so much for that. And I wanted to say I had just a millisecond of during meditation where I have many trees of thoughts of to do this, to do that. My mind completely filled with trees of thoughts, and then this little tiny idea came in that I know that intellectually that I'm filling up the space as avoidance from God's love. I know intellectually that, but I still do it. And but this idea came through is no thought, quietness and stillness is the place. But to be in that place, I need trust. I need to trust God. I need to trust that he will give me any thought, any word, as one of the prayers say, it will be given me. I don't have to fill my mind up with worrying whether I'm going to forget something. So it was just a millisecond of divine peace. So I wanted to share that. So thank you for listening.
Oh, thank you, Teresa. Yeah, I have a similar experience, and I even see when in this tree of thoughts, ask for God, it's actually not really asking. It's like keeping him away. Like I ask, I'm doing the right thing, but it's too hard for me right now. I can't reach him. But it's actually I don't want to reach him, even though I use the words in my mind. And just seeing that I make it difficult for myself, or actually impossible to reach him, is helpful, because I can recognize it as a hindrance. Um, it's a lesson for me to acknowledge, to accept that he's already much closer than I try to draw him near. So because I'm his thought, I am created in his likeness. We are created in his likeness. And I'm just super thankful for the help that is present, and that I can really let go of my guards and see that there's just support, like even when in a very worldly way, everything falls into place, and I'm held. We are held, literally held. And it's not it's not me taking care of myself or taking care of the world that makes things being held. It's him. So yeah, so that was not my function to take care of the world. My function was to forgive in all of it, such a relief. Yeah, maybe we can bless Norman. He's off to a funeral, and yeah, it's always good to remember the light and that no one really died. No one's gone, no one is lost, nothing is lost, and we just need this. All we need is to remember everyone's already perfect and one.
Who'd like to share? Lottie, take yourself off mute.
In the meditation, I was given a wonderful vision, really, and an experience which encompasses all the things that other people have been contributing. But I was a diver. I was on a top high diving board, and that's quite something for someone who can only just swim a width. And I just let go and dived, and all the little things came to me that I didn't have to get it right. I could just leave everything behind and go down to this depth which would enfold and support me. It's very much related to other things that have been said, but it was significant for me because in my teen years, I was great friends with someone who was entering diving competitions, and she would explain to me the details. And I realized that in this vision, the details didn't matter one little bit. I'm not in a competition, I'm just here to dive in the depths. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. It's good to be brave, be more daring, to go beyond idols and beyond our meaningless thoughts. So good. Like I see it as a miracle in itself that there is enough energy or activation within us to actually take a step beyond thoughts, because we can just be identified with it, and I can just think, well, I'm just thinking this, and I'm just thinking that, and I'm doing well, I'm doing well with my private meaningless thoughts. But to come into a step and to see, okay, there's a necessity to, even though I'm doing well, to step beyond my thoughts and to dive off the board and to see that really none of those matter. And I just want to, remember the original thought, his thought. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. It was leaving fear behind as well as a big factor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've come to the end of our time together. Thank you, Andreas. That was a wonderful help. And take yourself off mute and show your appreciation to Andreas.
Thank you, Andreas.
So much, Andrea.
Thank you, Andreas.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. God
All of
bless
us.
We love you all.
Love you.
Love you all.
Thank you so much.